All right, we are live. So, welcome everybody to Coffee with Markus. Today is day number 22 of the stock market crash in 2020. And I decided to do a Coffee with Markus live with you every day to keep you informed, to show you what's happening in the markets, to also show you what I'm personally doing right now, and show you the numbers. Because always keep in mind, trade what you see, not what you think. Right? So let's have a coffee together and see what is happening. So we're going to jump right on the charts because today, let me just switch over here quickly to the charts. Here we go. Today, the markets are staging a comeback. So right now we are 30 minutes away from the markets closing. So we are in the final 30 minutes, and I thought it would be fun to watch this live together as it unfolds today. The Dow for the day up 9.8%, almost 2,000 points. You remember a few weeks ago when a move of 10% meant 3,000 points? But here is what has been happening. As you see, this is right here when we actually started this market crash, and today we are on day 22. So let us first look at what exactly happened here today. And by the way, if you can hear me just fine and you can see me, do me a favor and give me a quick thumbs up, because this way I know that the audio and video is good and that I can continue showing you what I see here and why I believe it would be very, very dangerous to buy stocks today, because I'm going to show you what I believe is happening over the next few days based on data. Period. Okay. All right. So give me a quick thumbs up. This way I know that you can see and hear me, and then we're getting started. Okay. So I'm going to switch here to a so-called intraday chart, meaning that we're looking right now at a 5-minute chart of today. So here's what happened. Where you see the blue line on the left here, this is where we opened this morning. So we already opened up and we're just cruising higher, cruising higher. Shortly after lunchtime, we had a quick dip here, and right now, as we're going into the close, it seems that we are making new highs of the day. But we'll see. This is why we're following it here for the next 30 minutes. So again, the Dow right now up 10%, 1,800 points. So it's looking good, right? Why? What is happening? Why are the markets rallying today? So let me give you a little bit of background. I'm coming to you here full screen for a moment before we then take a look at the charts again. So, two things have been happening today that make investors and market participants very euphoric. First of all, yesterday, as you know, the Fed announced that they're pulling all stops and will buy as much bonds and pumping liquidity in the system as needed. Before that, they had a market cap that they said, well, they're up to a certain amount. And yesterday, they pulled all stops and said, yay, let's do this. However, let's go back to the charts here for a moment. This is what happened yesterday. Markets plummeted on this news, and here's why. Because yesterday, lawmakers could not decide of how all the money that should be available or is becoming available should be spent. Where's my mouse? There. Coming back to you. And today, it seems that we are much closer. I mean, both Republicans and Democrats say that we are at the 2-yard line of making a deal so that the bill can pass and we finally know how exactly the stimulus will work. But thus far, no deal has been made. So that's what the markets are waiting for, but they're hopeful because that's what investors are by nature. They're optimists. So the other good news that we received today is that in Italy, the coronavirus cases have been gone down for the second day in a row. Now, let me show you the facts here, and then we go back to the markets. But I want to make sure that you see the facts. You know, one of the websites that I like to follow is the Worldometers. And so here's all the data. If you look right now, we see that China obviously still has the highest amount of total cases, followed by Italy, followed by the United States. So yes, it is pretty bad. Yesterday, City of Austin put us under a stay at home, whatever you call this, right? So basically it means no more going out. And you know that New York is already in a lockdown. California is in a lockdown. Illinois is in a lockdown. More and more states are enforcing these lockdown procedures, these quarantines, to make sure that we can contain it. But let's talk about the news that happened here today. So Italy, this is where we have seen that for a second day straight, you see it right here, the number of cases that have been reported are going down. Now, don't celebrate just too early. But it is good news because in South Korea, let's go back to South Korea, where we are also on the decline. Just going back here quickly. We also saw this, and here's the very, very interesting thing. So you see in South Korea, we had the daily cases, then they were going down, and it happened after 43 days. Now, in Italy, it happened that now for the second day in a row, cases were going down after, you guessed it, 43 days. So this gives us kind of a hint. Here's the challenge with it. Here's the challenge. First of all, as you can see in South Korea, cases have gone down for 2 days in a row and then they spiked back up. But it seems that at this point, we were getting close to the pike. Here's the challenge. It's only 2 countries who are reporting it right now, and Italy is still not sure. However, investors are seeing this as a hopeful sign that maybe there's a chance, and let me come back to you here full screen, that we might see a peak in 2 weeks from now. If that's the case, we might have a chance that with the stimulus package that is coming right now, we might actually economically survive this. Now, by surviving, I mean, yes, we will have a recession, but most probably not a depression. And see, there's hope that we can actually weather the storm. But let's go back. Let's go back to the charts here. And let me tell you why I believe that today would be foolish to think, let's buy right now. You see, there are investors who are saying right now, the fear of missing out, FOMO, let's jump in and buy right away. But I want to show you something. I want to go back to 2008 because that is the most recent market crash that we had. So I'm going to go to a weekly chart here. And I'm going to go back to 2008 because I want to show you something. I want to introduce a tool to you that some of you might have heard, for some it is new. So the tool that I want to show you, here we are at the crash of 2008, are Fibonacci lines. I don't know if you heard about this. There was a famous mathematician who discovered that there are some magic levels or magic numbers in nature. Don't want to go too far here because ultimately we're talking about trading. But here's the deal. So when we apply this Fibonacci to the crash of 2008, we see that several times we have a retracement. Let's just do this one maybe here first. And I'm on a weekly chart. Okay. So let's do this. So we have been going down, down, down. And I'm going to mark this here on the chart. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you see it. See, it's very natural that first we're going down and then we see a small retracement. And after this, we continue to go further down. So the magic number that we are looking for is here the 0.236 number. And when you look at the previous retracements that we saw here, you also see that very often prices came back to the 0.236 level and then continue to tank. And if you look at this here several times, let me move this a little bit out of the way. Let's see if I can. Not too easy here. Let me just move a few things around, make this a little bit easier because we come back to the indicators here in just a moment. I just want to show the chart big. There we go. Okay. So here, as you can see, very often after we dip, even here, if we go to this low here, we go back to the 2.36 line. And after this, it can continue to drop. In fact, if we move all of this further back and we look at the whole crash of 2008, you see only once we broke significantly through this line, through this, what I think is a resistance line, then we were finally on our way back up. Now, why am I showing you 2008? Because that is the most recent crash that we had. So let's apply the same here to the crash today. And again, right now we are on day 22. Oops, and I need to, zoom out a little bit. Let me see if I can hit just escape for a moment. Let me come back to you full screen while I'm fiddling around with the charts here for a moment. Anyhow, I want to show you this tool because it is a cool tool that we can apply to the markets here right now. There we go. We're back and I'm going all the way to today. So when we use this tool, there we go. And we also look at what happened here recently. You see, we made the high Then we made this low. Here we had a larger retracement, actually, as you can see, almost to the, 0.5 line, but then we continued to dive. We had another right here. This is what happened on March 11th. As you know, this is when the markets really, really took a dive. And look at this. We came right back to this level, that 0.236. There we go. And then we dove down a little bit more. Right here, as you can see, this was the most recent low. And then we did not even bounce all the way back up. So let's connect this to the current low. And as you can see, we are still below this magic line of 236, 23.6. Let's just do it like this way. Okay. So this where right now, I think that there's still a possibility that we can turn around here, especially if traders get some bad news. So if, for example, the stimulus package will not be passed tomorrow because everybody is hoping for it right now. If there's more bad news coming out regarding the coronavirus, that maybe Italy is not on the decline, that is still going up. So I don't think that we are out of the woods just yet. And one of the challenges is that many traders are trying to jump into the market way too early. And this is what I see happening. And this is where, when we go back to the charts here, you know that there were some traders to go back right in here when we had this low, and then they got chopped into pieces, right? So they got a little bit of a dip, but then boom, it was falling all the way down. Now, before we continue, is this helpful? Because I'm here, that's why I'm doing this, because I want to provide you helpful, practical information based on facts and based on numbers. Because ultimately, you know what I stand for? Trade what you see, not what you think. This is why I'm doing these Coffee with Markus. And I'll also show you what I'm personally doing right now. So even though right now it seems that for the day, but if it is helpful, yeah, do me a favor, click like really quick. Make also sure that you subscribe to this channel, because this way you get a notification whenever I go live. And here is my commitment to you for the next few days, until we are in this stock market crash, until we are in the crisis. I will come to you live every day. And I decided to do it a little bit earlier. Usually we did it at 4 o'clock Eastern time, New York time. I want to do it half an hour earlier so that we can watch what is happening into the close. So let's take a look at it actually and see what right now is happening going into the close, because it seems that we are, yes, we are right now. Look at this. We are at the highs for the day. So here is today's trading day. And as you can see, we broke the previously established high, which was right before lunchtime. Let me mark it for you right here so that you see this here was the previously established line. And that's a beautiful thing about these trend lines. Oops, there you go. Okay, as we are zooming in here, you see that, yes, how do I get rid of this? Okay, we'll figure it out here. You see that right now, previously it has been holding, but right now we seem to rally into the close. I wonder if we just had some breaking news that maybe the stimulus package has passed, or if there's just hope of traders here and seeing, let's do this. So in a moment, we're going to talk about a few very specific stocks that I've been talking about for the past few days, and take a look at those, how they are doing today. What are the best performing stocks? Let's actually jump right in. Let's do it here right now. Okay, so some of the best performing stocks today, no surprise, are airlines. Now, you might be wondering, why airlines? I thought that we are still grounded. And they were actually news that the airlines might be completely shut down. Oops, let me just see. There we go. For the next few days or even weeks. But if you look at American Airlines here, today up 37%. And here's why. Because part of the stimulus package that is about to be passed in the Senate is providing a lifeline for the airlines. So American Airlines up 37% today. Delta Airlines up right now 22%. United Airlines, if you look at these, up 25%. So you might now say, well, that's great. How could I have seen it? Well, this is where I say right now it's very dangerous to jump in, because once we have the law actually passing or the bill passing, today I heard that airlines wanted to have both loans and grants. And today it was said, no, it will be either loans or grants. So once we have the details, we might actually see that airlines are still plummeting. But right now, see, this is where, buy the rumors sell the facts, right? And right now the rumor is, oh my gosh, this crisis could possibly be over in 2 weeks. Hey, there is a bailout plan and it will include a lifeline for airlines, and all of these are rumors. So once the facts are out, once we see tomorrow if Italy is really recovering from the coronavirus, if there is in fact a lifeline for airline, we might see another drop down. What are some other stocks that are performing really, really well today? So today, for example, we talked about it, MGM the other day. MGM got hammered. I mean, they shut down the casinos in Las Vegas. As you can see, huge decline. Let me just show you how much they declined. I believe it was more like 83%. 83%. So today, a jump of 32%. Again, all on hope, because that's what traders like to do. Ford, actually, surprisingly today, Ford made a huge jump of 22% here. So yes, there are some outliers, but you see, Ford also went down 22% in a matter of days. Ford has been hit hard here. Let's see, over... Nope, that's not the tool that I wanted to use. I wanted to use this one so that I see the percentages. From up here, yeah, also down, what, almost 60%. Crazy. All right. Now, before we continue looking at the markets, let me take a look at some of your questions and see what questions or comments you have, because that is my favorite part of doing this Trade with Markus live, or not Trade with Live, Coffee with Markus live. We will have coffee together. By the way, if you want, we can take a look at the positions that I have in my portfolio right now in just a moment. Let me know if you're interested, if you would like to know what's going on, what I'm trading right now, what I'm looking at. Type it in the comments and say yes, or show me, or something along these lines. Okay. So there are some great questions. Let me just pop them in here. So getting gotta love some of your names here. Getting Jackie's Lyft Uber ride share. So Markus, are you saying we shouldn't trade yet? You see, I think we will have plenty of opportunities to take advantage of the upswing, because honestly, I don't think that we will be all the way up where we were in 22 days. I believe it takes us a little bit more. There is plenty of opportunity. I don't want you to get hurt. That is the most important thing. And I believe that if you would jump in right now, tomorrow you could be in for a very rude awakening. We'll see if this rally continues for another day or two, but I believe that we have another swing down. Eventually it will stop, and I believe that we are getting close to the bottom. I believe that we are getting close to the bottom, but we might not be there yet. This is why I always say, trade what you see, not what you think. Let me show you one of the things that I'm looking for before I would be willing to jump in again. Actually, I need to click on this one. There we go. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to look at my 3 indicators. And the 3 indicators that I'm looking at is the RSI, the stochastics, and the MACD. Before jumping in a market, so that I know that it's more likely for the market to go up, I want to see that the RSI is above 50. I want to see the stochastics is above 50. And I want to see that the MACD is moving above its signal line. Now, as you can see, 2 out of these 3 indicators are getting really close to showing us possibly we might come into an upswing. So we already have the RSI right now trading at 42. That is a good sign. We have the MACD, and right now it is getting close. The purple line, I want to see that the purple line is moving above the orange line. That is the Power X strategy. Oh, by the way, if you would like to know more about these indicators and these lines, you know that I've written this book, The Power X Strategy. Let me come back to you full screen for a moment. Where did my camera go? There we go. Okay, so we will answer this question in a moment. Okay, so the Power X Strategy, this is a book that explains this strategy and these indicators, and usually it sells on Amazon for $24.90. But here's what I want to do for you. I want to send you this book. All I ask is that you cover shipping and handling. Shipping and handling, to put it in the box and ship it to you, is $4.95. So if you would like to have the book, if some of my team members could put a link somewhere here in the chat, and we'll put it underneath the description of the video, get the book. I know that we sold out. We had so many books that you ordered, which is fantastic because, as you know, giving them away for free. So, but I just heard that we will start shipping books again on Monday. So on Monday, We have books in stock again, and we'll start shipping it. So if you want to get a book, one of my team members could just pop a link in the chat of where you can get it, and it will be there in just a moment. Okay. Great question. And let's go back to the other question. So this is why, just answering your question, no, I don't think that you should buy just yet. Okay, good. Okay, so this is where Neofita says, today the Dow is green 5%. Actually, it is green 10% right now. 10% is an indication of a recovery. We don't know yet. So this is where be patient and wait. Don't fall into this trap of the FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? Let me come back to you here on the screens. That's what we talked about. This might be just a dead cat bouncing. But you see there's a, we are here looking at Ford, so the Dow. There's a strong indication, let me just go to the charts here really quick, that we might actually get close to a bottom here at around 19,000. We shall see. I mean, the next 2 or 3 days are really important. Right now, we are only on day 22. By the way, this thus far is the fastest stock market crash that we have had, going back to 1930. So the fastest stock market crash in 30 days. All the other crashes, I mean, I showed you just a moment ago, the 2008 crash, and you saw that we had to go to weekly charts. Never ever since 1927 has the stock market crashed so much in such a little time. Yes, we had the Black Monday where the market crashed 20% in a day. But you see, all this down now, what, 33% in just 22 days? That is a record. Never been any faster. Okay. Very, very good. Okay, so what about banks and insurance? That is a great question, Ricardo. So banks and insurance, yes, of course. Today we also see a recovery. Bank of America up 15% today. JP Morgan would be another one. Let's take a look here. Up 12% a day. So pretty much still in line. And here's one of the challenges because, again, there is $2 trillion that will be pumped into the economy, but nobody knows yet how. We have some ideas, but the bill is still going through the Senate, so we will have to see. But yeah, great questions. Hey, I'm just curious. Let me switch back to a 5-minute chart here of the Dow. I want to see as we're going into the close. Oh, look at this. We almost here made a retracement. Okay, it looked like we couldn't sustain it, but right now we are making a recovery. We have 7 more minutes to trade, so we will see. Will we finish at highs of the days, or will we see a sell-off right now going into the close? Okay, so let me... Where is my little... There it is. Let me see that I can bring up a few more questions that you have here. Okay, everybody wants to see what I'm doing. I will show this in just a moment. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this right now as we are watching the Dow getting into the close. So with my mastermind members last Friday, I started trading this account. So this was a $25,000 account Friday, 3 days ago. As you can see right now, it is at $29,000. $4,500 in a day, not too bad. So here is what I'm betting on. I actually have been selling puts. And here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, in Coffee with Markus tomorrow, I'm going to show you exactly what it means selling puts, how to sell puts, and yeah, basically the ins and outs. Let's do this tomorrow because I want to dedicate I want to prepare a few things for you so that you have a visual and how exactly it works. As you can see, realized today, $700. Unrealized, $3,300. And here, this is the daily P&L for today, up $1,200 in this portfolio. Not too bad. Now, keep in mind, thus far it is working, but of course, it can turn around. But I'm very happy with $4,000 in 3 days. Yeah, 3,300 unrealized and 700 today realized. So it's what, $4,005 on a $25,000 account. So again, if you would have a $10,000 account, right, you just take divided by 2.5. What is this? 4,000, like 1,500, somewhere around this. You get the idea. So as you can see, Boeing. I was betting that Boeing couldn't fall any further. Same with Love, Southwest Airlines. So I was betting on airlines recovering, and it's working out. I was betting on MGM recovering, and again, this is what I did 3 days ago. So probably tomorrow, you know what, why not? Since we meet before the close, what do you think? Shall we put a trade on together? Would you like to put on a trade together? If so, just say, yes, let's trade together. Actually, let's use this hashtag with me. You know this hashtag with me? Type this in the comments, then I know that you're interested in this and I can show you tomorrow. We can put on a trade together. Right now, I mean, in 3 minutes, the markets will close. So it's a little bit tight here, especially if you want to follow along, right? So maybe let's do this together tomorrow. If you're interested, let me know if you are. Okay, good. So how do I feel about oil and gas stocks? I'm coming back to you here on full screen. It's pretty interesting. Oil and gas stocks, if you look at Chevron, for example, CVX, we see that today they have a recovery of 23%. That is good. Actually, I want to just watch. Let's watch here. The Dow going into the close. Oh my God, look at this. We are making new highs of the day. So it feels that we can actually finish at highs for the day. Now up 11%. How exciting is this? Well, again, but we're not out of the woods yet. So we want to wait a little bit longer until we see that we really have sustainable move. Because we have seen this over the past few days. We have seen 10% swings to the upside. And the next day, we were down 10% again. So don't get too excited yet. Okay. So, oil and gas companies, you know what? Actually, I'm a little bit more excited about about some bank stocks here. So like Bank of America, and we'll discuss this tomorrow when I'm looking at some trades. So I'm also very interested in companies like Uber, because if you look at Uber, they actually went through this crash pretty well. I'm going to go back here to daily charts. As you can see, yes, of course, since nobody was riding Uber again, they were bouncing back. But look at this recovery. Now, knowing what you have already learned today, so let's apply some of the things that you have learned thus far. Let's use our magic tool here, the Fibonacci tool. And look at this. This is what I said. It's always dangerous if we only go back to the 23.6 line. But here we broke solid through. We're actually approaching the 0.5 line. So this is a really good sign that now we will have a short retracement, but Uber could actually go up and away here. So that is another company that I'm very interested in, because here it is less dangerous to jump in than it is in the overall market conditions here right now. And again, if you missed the beginning of this, I'll just rewind. Okay, go to the beginning. This is where I talk about Fibonacci levels here and how I use them to see if we have a real rebound or if this is a fake out. And right now, to me, it looks like a fake out. Okay. Let me come back to you here and see if we have any other questions. All right, so, okay, so I see that some of you have already gotten the book, the PARX book. So glad that you already have it. If you have ordered it over the past few weeks, I know that our printer couldn't print it fast enough. And so they will be shipped out on Monday, I promise. Okay, good, fantastic. I love all this with me. Okay, sounds good. Seems that we are meeting again tomorrow to trade live and see if we can put on some trades that make sense. So here's the deal. I mean, I'm not just gunslinging and throwing out trades there. We actually want to see if it makes sense. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for, what I'm seeing, what I would like to see before I put on a trade. And when it makes sense, or if it makes sense, we will put it on together. Okay, so let's meet here again 30 minutes before the markets close. Markets just closed. No, we have a minute left. Let's actually watch this for just a second, since we have a minute left here, and then I'm answering more of your questions. Really appreciate it. Hanging out. Are you having as much fun as I'm having here, hanging out with you? If you have, make sure that you hit like, because this way, this video is distributed to more and more people on YouTube. So if you like it, and if you want to support spreading the good word here, hit it. Okay, there we go. We are. Markets just closed, and look at this. We did close at highs of the day. So there is hope. There's hope. The Dow up 11.2% today. The SPX up 9.3%. The Nasdaq up 7.8%. So tech stocks are not recovering today, at least as quickly as all the others. Okay, let's come back here full screen. Take a look at some more of your questions, and then probably wrap it up in maybe 10 minutes, because my coffee is getting lower and I don't want it to get cold. Good. Let's see. And you have to pay taxes on that, though. Yeah. When I make money, I pay taxes. I mean, that's, you see, I can promise you, I do not have any of these weird offshore accounts where I'm hiding money. I live in the United States. I am happy to contribute my fair share to having roads here, having schools there. I mean, I'm driving on these roads. My kids are going to the schools. I like to support the United States with my fair share. Now, note that I say fair share, okay? I'm not a big fan of overpaying taxes, but hey, yes, I will pay the taxes based on the money that I make. And I believe you should too. All right. Good. Fantastic. So, Exxon actually. Yeah, there's a question around Exxon. Let's take a look at this here really quick and see again whether you're looking at Exxon or Chevron today. So here, let me go back to a daily chart. We see a decent recovery, but only 12%. That's pretty much in line with the market. So you see, in these specific market conditions, usually, let me come back to you for a moment, let me show the screen. No, actually, let me do it here. What I like to do in regular markets, and you know, markets are regular 95% of the time. Right now, we're in the 5% or 3% of the time where markets are just crazy. 95% of the time, markets are normal, and when they are normal, I like to use the PowerX strategy, and I like to use my software, the PowerX Optimizer, to find the best stocks to trade. Because for me, that is the most reliable method to find stocks that are ready for an explosive move. I've been using it for many, many years. Can remember, recently I looked it up, I believe it was 10 or 12 years. So it has been quite a while that I've been using it, and it's working really, really well for me. However, right now, if you already have PowerX Optimizer, the software, and you see right now that you're scanning for stocks to come up and nothing is coming up for a reason. This means that the software is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, keeping you out of trouble, because if you're trading right now, you are in trouble. Having said this, again, because this is a strategy that works 95% of the time, and this is the market conditions that we usually have. Right now, we are in unusual market conditions. As we are, there are some unique opportunities, and these are the unique opportunities that I like to take advantage of. And this is what you saw here. So for my mastermind members, as you know, I have a mastermind. I coach students privately. I put aside a smaller account, right? Because I wanted to say, hey, let's do this together with me, right? And so last Friday, we met and I put on all these trades that you just saw here. And so that's what I'm doing with my mastermind. I'll probably do a little bit more here during this week. And then I said for tomorrow, I want to show you what I'm looking at when we're talking about selling puts. And this might be a very intriguing strategy for you, especially right now in this unusual market conditions. All right. Very, very, very cool. All right. Well, guys, I really appreciate you being here. I love hanging out with you. I hope that you are having as much fun as I'm having here, spending my coffee time with you, watching the markets going into the close, because I feel that it is fascinating. If you enjoyed this, make sure that you click like and subscribe, because I promise right now I'm going to do it daily until we see that this craziness goes back to normal. But I feel that right now it does make sense to keep a close eye on the markets and to show you what I personally do, what I see, because you always want to trade what you see, not what you think. And I hope that you're enjoying this this unbiased view on the market based on facts and not on all the hype. Because trust me, based on what I see, most of the talking heads on TV, they don't know what they're talking about. Anyhow, have a great rest of the day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.